look at that beautiful, soft light coming from behind the mountains.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our mobile studio. As always, thank you for coming on this journey with us as we continue to make our documentary about a solution to homelessness.
How do you think it's going so far?
Man, the last couple of months have been packed, haven't they?
They have. And so we want to talk to you this episode about our progress. We also want to tell you about this theme that's emerging in front of us that we think you all should know about. And hang with us until the end because we have some very exciting announcements to make.
So far, we've covered a lot of ground in the eastern United States. From Washington D.C. to Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta, Milwaukee, and we recently crossed the Mississippi on our big expedition out west, starting with Denver. Homelessness out west is in a totally different scale, and we look forward to shedding a light on it.
We've talked to dozens of people so far, government officials, business leaders, thought leaders, housing first service providers, shelters, and our favorite, those with lived experience.
We're gathering phenomenal content, sometimes shocking.
There was a homeless guy in Seattle who froze to death outside, and they just walked over his body like it was nothing.
My father ran a child pedo ring. I was the main victim.
Other times, somewhat lighthearted.
You're not an alcoholic. You're not a drug addict.
No.
Do you have a serious mental illness?
No, not at all.
You don't have anything?
Nothing. I only have high blood pressure or cholesterol. Diabetes, I'm good.
Here on the street, I guess the bigger tent you got, it's like a type of wealth, I guess.
Sometimes it's a sleepless, freezing night, and other times it gets quite heated.
Housing First, the motto is housing and services.
No, it's not.
I promise you it is.
No, it's not. This is where I have to argue.
promise
If the federal government says that's not true.
Who cares what they say? They're not the one who developed the program.
But don't say housing first without saying housing first model or housing first federal law, because they're completely different.
Despite an occasional logistical challenge, we're very excited about our progress so far, because all of this footage is bringing us closer to our goal of completing our film about a solution to homelessness in the United States.
So the heater is right here, and then it has a shelving area. Yeah, this is our little home.
And we want to thank everyone who has come on camera and talked to us, because your stories are going to help dismantle the stereotypes about those experiencing homelessness.
The biggest pleasure and privilege of making documentary film is the process of discovery. Good surprises, bad surprises, they're both equally rewarding in their own way. But never have we ever come across a discovery as disturbing as what we found in Washington, D.C.
Why is it that 88% of people experiencing homelessness in the District of Columbia identify as Black or African American, and the general population is 44% identify as Black or African American?
Close to 100% of families experiencing homelessness are Black. People experiencing homelessness are nearly doubly overrepresented in our homelessness crisis.
At first, we thought it was just a terrible fact. But then we went to Milwaukee.
When we looked at the individuals we served, 75% of our clients were African American. When we look at our eviction prevention program, it was close to 80%.
Then Atlanta. What percentage of your homeless population in Atlanta is Black?
90%.
No way. That's the winner. DC is 88.6% or whatever, and Milwaukee 75%.
Yeah, Detroit is up there too. We're 89, but yes.
That's beyond disgraceful.
It was beginning to look more and more like a trend, so we dug deeper. We looked at the numbers of African American populations in a few cities and compared them to the rate of those cities' Black homeless populations. And every single time, the rate of Black folks experiencing homelessness was 2, 3, sometimes 8 times the rate of the African American general population.
So if you look at poverty for whites in America, it goes down. And then for homelessness, it goes way down. If you look at that same statistic for African Americans, it goes up. So the poverty level goes up as opposed to the general population. And for homelessness, it goes way up. And so it isn't poverty that is the generator, it is something else. We believe that something else is racism.
It's no mistake that almost everybody in our system is Black experiencing homelessness.
This is actually the systems that founded this country working exactly as they were intended to do, to prioritize wealth and safety and resources for white people while deprioritizing those things for people of color, especially Black people.
What do you think those factors are that cause that?
The structural racism, anybody who's, people of color who fought in World War II, they couldn't access the GI Bill for free college. They couldn't access mortgages. Redlining has perpetuated and purposefully excluded people of color from the American dream in the suburbs.
People have been accused and tried for redlining within the last 3 years. So this isn't past history. It's something that's still going on.
It's unbelievable. All around the country, it's unbelievable. I'm trying to understand how the system was allowed to get like this.
Addressing racial disparities in housing comes with a recognition of the history that created this. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we have, and especially as a government official and for my team that's working on housing policy, is to look at what is seemingly neutral policy that has tremendous racially inequitable result.
Yeah, it was interesting a couple years ago that I can't remember, I think it's called the Spark study, just really put the research down on paper, explaining what we've known all along, right? That racism ultimately causes homelessness. But it took translating it into a format that they understand, right? Had to have the research, had to have the data. We can yell all we want, we can talk their ears off, but until it's in their language, do they understand the severity of the situation?
How am I supposed to feel about this? Am I supposed to just believe that African Americans are inferior to the rest of society and therefore this is a natural outcome of that inferiority? Am I supposed to be outraged? Deeply offended? Or should I just be pissed? Should you be? Let's figure this out together. Send us your comments. If you don't want people to see your comments publicly, direct message us. But let's talk about this, because right now, I'm just stunned.
We have a few exciting announcements that we want to share with you. First, we're going to be filming the Housing First Partners Conference in Seattle from April 11th through April 14th. But we're also taking part in that conference. We have a breakout session on April 13th, which is a Wednesday, and if you're there, please come join us.
And on April 14th, at the lunch plenary, I'll be on the panel with these fine folks.
So if you're at the conference, come say hello. And by the way, Buddy Holly says that he will be available for selfies.
All right, the big announcement. Melville Charitable Trust, Cooper Housing Institute, we've added to the team. The Oak Foundation from England and also the Conrad and Hilton Foundation have joined the team as our supporters.
So that's 4 foundations now.
We have 4 foundations supporting us, and we can't express enough our gratitude that you're showing the confidence in us to make this film and carry out this impact campaign, and you'll get our best.
We really want to thank Omni Interlocken Hotel in Denver. They have gone above and beyond, making our stay as comfortable as possible. Customer service, attention to details, second to none. If you're going to be in the area, in the Denver area, we highly recommend you checking them out. And I especially would like to Give a personal shout out to my new friend, the overnight concierge, whose name is also Don, who at 5 o'clock in the morning would have a coffee ready for me when he didn't have to, and also engage me in a very stimulating conversations. Thanks, Don.
And, you know, they would bring me 2 Coke Zeros every day. Because I asked for it one day, now every day they bring it, you know, so they're just very nice people. I would stay here if you come to Denver.
And they're not paying us to say that. In fact, they don't even know that we're doing this. All right, what's next?
Well, we'll finish up here in Denver, and then we're heading to the Housing First Partners Conference in Seattle, or we'll see you in the next episode.
Stay tuned.
Ciao.